Welcome to Korean Cinema Channel. Today I would like to send you the following news. Reversal of fate. The hunter who fell in love with his prey. It started with an obsession, quiet, calculated, and terrifyingly beautiful. Zhao Zhendong wasn't supposed to fall in love. He was the type who lived behind locked doors and blackout curtains, a man who observed life through the glow of a computer screen. To the world, he was a recluse, sharp-minded but socially invisible. But to her, the moment their paths crossed, he became something far more dangerous. She wasn't supposed to notice him either. Hae-in was sunshine in human form, radiant, unpredictable, the kind of girl who laughed loudly in cafes and left traces of warmth wherever she went. But beneath that soft exterior was a woman running from her own shadows. She didn't know that the stranger who helped her one rainy night, the one who picked up her fallen umbrella and smiled too calmly, was already mapping out her world, step by step, heartbeat by heartbeat. When Zhao Zhendong decided to love her, it wasn't the gentle kind of love that flowers in spring. It was the kind that devours. His obsession grew in silence, buried under layers of politeness and restraint. He memorized her habits, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear when nervous, the small tremor in her voice when she lied, the exact time she checked her messages at night. And then, one day, love crossed the line. What started as protection became possession. What started as care became control. But destiny, like any cruel game, had other plans. The hunter thought he held the reins, until the prey stopped running. Hae-in didn't scream when she discovered the truth. She didn't cry when she realized the walls had eyes, or that her every move had been orchestrated by the man she trusted. Instead, she smiled. A slow, knowing smile that froze Zhao Zhendong's blood, because she had known all along from the very beginning. She had seen the way he looked at her, the kind of gaze that could either save a person or ruin them. And she chose to play along. She fed his obsession, tested the limits of his sanity, and waited for the moment the cage door closed. On both of them the story twisted in on itself, collapsing the boundary between hunter and hunted. As Zhao's carefully built world began to unravel, he realized the cruelest truth of all. Hae-in wasn't his victim. She was his reflection, every bit as broken, every bit as desperate, every bit as addicted to the thrill of being wanted too much. Their love became a war zone. Every kiss a negotiation, every touch a weapon. She loved him not in spite of his darkness, but because of it. And he, unable to let go, transformed his madness into devotion. It was no longer about control or surrender, it was about survival within each other's chaos. Soon, the line between affection and destruction blurred entirely. The outside world called it toxic, even horrifying. But to them, it was paradise. A dangerous, fragile paradise built on the edges of obsession and tenderness. In his arms, she found the safety of a prison. In her gaze, he found the freedom of a curse. And when everything finally burned, when secrets spilled, when lies turned to lies, one truth remained: they were never meant to be apart. Not because of fate, but because their souls were identical flames, feeding off the same madness. As the final scene faded, Zhao Zhendong whispered the only promise he could keep, his voice trembling between devotion and doom: "If loving you is a crime, then let me be guilty forever." The fire had long died down, but the scent of smoke still clung to the air, thick, bitter, almost sweet. Zhao Zhendong stood in the ruins of what used to be his sanctuary. The monitors cracked, the wires melted, the walls scorched black. Everything he had built to control her, to protect her, was gone. Yet, in that destruction, he felt something strange. Freedom. Or maybe it was just the echo of her laughter, haunting him through the silence. Hae-in was gone. Or so he thought. For weeks, he searched the city's corners, the neon streets, the rain-soaked alleys, the cafes she used to love. Every time he thought he saw her reflection, it slipped away like a mirage. And then one night, under the flickering streetlights, she appeared again, uninvited, untouchable, more beautiful than ever. She wasn't the same girl he had locked away. Her eyes were colder, sharper, carved by pain and something even more dangerous, knowledge. "Miss me?" she asked, voice soft, but laced with venom. He couldn't answer. He only stared, the chaos of guilt and longing tearing at him from within. "You taught me something," she continued. "That love isn't about being saved, it's about who survives." He laughed then, a hollow, broken sound. "So that's what you're doing now? Surviving me?" "No," she said, stepping closer. "Becoming you." The words hit him harder than any weapon could. In her calm defiance, he saw his own reflection, the obsession, the hunger, the darkness he thought he alone possessed. She had inherited it, mastered it, and now she was turning it against him. The following days unfolded like a psychological chess match. Every message, every encounter, was a move in a silent war. She invaded his mind as effortlessly as he once invaded hers, leaving him notes, cryptic photos, small reminders that she still knew him better than anyone else. It wasn't revenge, it was resurrection. Their next meeting wasn't planned, it never was. In an abandoned theater, she stood on the old stage, surrounded by dust and faded velvet curtains. He walked toward her, the echo of his footsteps a confession in itself. "You could have killed me," he said quietly. "But you didn't," she tilted her head. "And you could have let me go. But you didn't." Silence filled the space between them, thick and electric. He took one hesitant step closer, his voice trembling. "You said love is about who survives. But what if survival isn't living at all?" She looked at him for a long time, then smiled, softly, tragically. "Then maybe we deserve each other." The distance collapsed. His hands found her face, hers gripped his shirt, and for a moment, all the pain, the obsession, the years of silent torment melted into something pure and terrifying: forgiveness. Their kiss wasn't tender, it was desperate, like two storms colliding, each trying to consume the other. Outside, thunder rolled across the city. Inside, two broken souls rebuilt their ruin with nothing but touch and truth. They didn't promise forever, they couldn't. But as dawn broke through the shattered windows, painting their faces gold, something unspoken lingered between them, a fragile piece, fragile enough to break with one heartbeat. Later, as she leaned against his chest, eyes half closed, she whispered, "You know what's funny? You were supposed to destroy me." He brushed his thumb against her lips and answered, "Maybe destruction was the only way we could ever love." And when she finally smiled, tired and real, Zhao Zhendong knew the truth at last. This wasn't the end of their story. It was the moment the hunter and his prey stopped fighting destiny and started rewriting it, because sometimes love isn't about chains or freedom, sometimes it's about choosing to stay. Thank you for watching my channel. See you in the next videos. Thanks.